representing Malaysia, Farah and Binti.
To the 21-year-old Nicol David from Malaysia.
She collects another floor gold medal.
13.82 that sees him claim the gold medal in front of his home fans.
How is retirement treating you?
I'm loving it. It's the best feeling ever. Just waking up in the morning, not thinking of having to
Train.
train for a match or train or tournament, and I'm just in a happiest moment right now.
Okay, so is the honeymoon period of your retirement, has that come and gone?
I have had that, but at the same time, during this time being in Malaysia, I'm now back in KL, based here. I also will find my little bits and pieces to have my breaks to travel and do my own thing, but mostly working here in KL with speaking engagements that has come up, whether it's within Malaysia or abroad, doing things for like corporate companies,
Right.
banks, and even the UN panel recently.
yeah.
So it's been really exciting for me to actually take in another role
Okay.
as like a more speaking about my experiences, and at the same time trying to give back to the sport. So going on court with some of the kids, like the squash players here in Malaysia,
Right.
and wanting to set some camps up coming up next year.
All that said and done, do you miss playing squash professionally?
Not at all, really, to be honest.
Really?
I think we were just sharing that when you know something that you're done for so long, part of you just has to just take that break and time out, because you've done it for 20 years, and I know for a fact it was time, and it was the right time, and I just am playing a little bit just for fun.
And would you consider following in the footsteps of your coach and manager Liz and coach an up-and-coming squash star?
I would hope so. Right now, I'm actually in the midst of creating some programs to work on camps outside of Malaysia in the US, and at the same time, those camps will also be within Malaysia.
You can go back a while to when you were starting as a young player. What was it in your mind, that made you decide, this is what I want to do, and how do you get that?
The first thing you have to do is really love it enough, like love it so much that you want your heart bursts just by playing the sport. You just think about it, you want to breathe it, live it, and want to do everything to make it count. So I think that was when I felt that, and when I started winning tournaments in not just in Malaysia but overseas, and then I started winning my first World Junior title when I was 15. That's when it hit me that if I can do it now at 15 years old, I can do it in the pros. So that was kind of like my aspiration and dream, to become a world champion in the seniors.
When you were going through that phase, and you had to focus on your squash, and you were 15 years old, and you probably at the back of your mind thought, but am I going to go to a university? Am I going to go to college? What am I going to major in? Is this going to happen? How did you decide to pursue sports and put off all the other stuff?
It was tough because, you're always looked upon, especially with my parents having to let their child go and play squash. It really wasn't seen as something that is not a norm. So I had to take that leap of faith and go for it, and they fully supported my decision. And it was also because I really wanted it enough to pursue it. So that's the difference. I knew for a fact if I didn't take this opportunity, I would lose I wouldn't know what it may come out. So might as well give it a go and try. Just give it a good try and see where it might lead me. And 20 years in the pro tour, it led me to a good place.
Nicol, you've had an illustrious career as Malaysia's squash queen. I mean, announcing your retirement wasn't an easy decision. Can you take us back to that moment when you recorded that video message for all your fans? How did you feel?
At that moment, it was a little tough to really speak about it and say it out loud, but I got through that, and it was one of the best relief that I had to say it to everybody, and the real knowledge of knowing that it was time and it was the right thing to do. And I felt such a load off my shoulders after that recording, and also talking to people when I was traveling and touring. it was just what it should be, and it didn't seem so hard. But in the process of leading up to that, I needed to get that space of really fully accepting that this is my time, and only at that very moment I had to prepare myself for that announcement. And when it did happen, it was great.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Nicol, you're giving back in so many ways, especially through your foundation. Can you tell us more about it?
Yeah, at the moment I'm building my foundation. It's to just really empower girls through sport. It's still in the initial stages, but I want to hopefully use this foundation to create values, because with sport you can get so much out of it, and the fundamental values are all instilled in sports. And the ages like 8-9-year-old girls, they are the ones that can really grasp this so much more, and all the experience that I can share with them.
One of the causes that you championed was trying to get squash into the Olympics. Are you still actively pursuing this?
Right now, no, because we've done a lot of campaigning, and to be honest, it's really helped in certain ways to build our sport to what it is right now. But at the same time, the Olympic Committee is not fully set with their criteria. So every single time we try to bid for it, it keeps changing according to what they want. And right now they don't want squash, and it's okay.
Do you feel pressured in any way to be in a relationship, or you know, are you self-partnered like a Hermione Granger / what's her name, that actress?
No idea. Yeah, but I think what's so nice is that my family has always been giving me that space, and I don't feel that pressure to do anything I'm not prepared or capable of doing. I'm getting actually busier by the minute, so it's actually what I want to do is just enjoy my retirement phase, and then see what comes.
Right. I'm all for that.
Yeah.
You have always remained humble and down to earth. What is your secret to staying grounded?
Really it's mostly my family and my friends and where I came from, because they always treat me as Nicol, and the same girl that was from Penang, growing up in our home, and having the simple things in life, and I think it's just the appreciation of those simple things that we have, and I think I make the most of what I got. So they are the ones that kept me grounded. And I think it's just how they've taught me to treat people with a lot of respect, and being good to others is what you're gonna expect in return.